Bodybuilding is a great sport in which you can literally create the body of your dreams. But some athletes take it too far in the pursuit of muscles and records, turning into giant mountains of muscle, injecting themselves with dangerous substances, and sometimes ruining themselves. This is Infinity. And in this episode, I'll show you bodybuilders who took it too far. Let's go. Big Ramy. Big Ramy is the nickname of Mamdouh El-Sbiai, a professional bodybuilder from Egypt who's widely known in the world of bodybuilding. And no wonder, he's the reigning champion. Mamdouh is the winner of Mr. Olympia 2021 and 2020. It's not difficult to understand why he became a champion because the Egyptian is simply huge. Having started his professional sports career in 2013, Big Ramy has achieved incredible success. Over the years, he won many competitions. The bigger he became, the more prestigious competitions he won. At the moment, Big Ramy is probably the biggest modern bodybuilder. With a height of 175 centimeters, he weighs about 130 kilos. And this is on the stage. In the off-season, Big Ramy is different. He goes up to 140 to 160 kilograms. Big Ramy's hips and biceps are his main trump cards. Their circumference is 90 and 58 centimeters respectively, which makes the pictures of the Egyptian seem fake, but no, Mamdouh is exactly like that. Dennis James. German Dennis James was born in 1969. He played soccer for a long time as a kid and was convinced he was going to be a German soccer star. He was never one of the best footballers on the planet, but became one of the biggest bodybuilders of all time. Since James joined the gym in 1988, he's only gained momentum. Young talent strengthened and grew very quickly, and in the second half of the 90s, the guy had the first successes, including the victory on the US Championship in 1998. Dennis James trained differently with a focus on the broadest muscle of back, so he always impressed with his phenomenal back. Despite such advantages, the athlete always lacked something to win. He competed in lots of pro events, but won only 3 of them. He competed 10 times at the Mr. Olympia, but never made it to the pinnacle of bodybuilding. But I think it's not that bad because James still became an icon of the sport. Posters of the muscular German still adorn the walls of almost every gym in the world. Rolly Winkler. Like Dennis James, Dutchman Rolly Winkler began to comprehend the world of bodybuilding not at once. At first, he played a lot of soccer, but also enjoyed acrobatics and gymnastics. By the way, it came in handy later. The giant often surprised the spectators with somersaults on stage. In 2003, Rolly switched to bodybuilding, where his journey began, which is not over yet. The Dutchman's already 44 years old, but he still performs actively. Last year, he placed 11th in Mr. Olympia, and also several times he entered the top 10 at various European tournaments. Rolly is truly huge. He's 170 centimeters tall and weighs between 115 and 130 kilograms. His bicep circumference is even bigger than that of the champion Big Ramy, and the Dutchman's chest circumference is 130 centimeters. He is a mountain of muscle, and that's because Sybil Peters, his coach, nicknamed Grandma. She also has another nickname, Coach from Hell. Despite her cute appearance, Sybil exhausts her sportsmen, turning them into titans. You can see the results of such training sessions yourself. Jean-Pierre Fuchs. A bodybuilder from Switzerland, Jean-Pierre Fuchs started training at the age of 16. He discovered that his muscles were developed at an unprecedented rate and that he was gaining weight at an unbelievable rate. At the age of 17, he already weighed 100 kilograms. His parents barely had time to buy him new clothes because he grew out of the old ones in a month. Jean-Pierre's shape was improving by leaps and bounds. In 1993, the giant Jean took part in the World Amateur Bodybuilding Championship, where he placed 4th. And the next year, he became the champion in the same championship. After that, his career began to take off rapidly. He received offers from various companies. The powerful Swiss adorned the covers of many glossy magazines and sports nutrition boxes. Jean could have become even bigger and more successful, but one incident ruined everything. During one workout, Jean fell while squatting with a heavy barbell and broke his leg. Although he went through a recovery process, he didn't reach his prime. What happened to Jean's not uncommon. In the pursuit of records and the creation of a huge body, athletes often suffer, but it could be worse. Some of them take it so far that they even die. Stay tuned to learn about a couple of bodybuilders who fell victims to their sport, as well as to see some of Brazil's most inflated bodybuilders who take great risks with their lives. Chad Brothers. As a rule, when we talk about bodybuilders who took it too far, we talk about guys who are overworked and physically unrealistically powerful. Chad Brothers was powerful too, but his love of bodybuilding took its toll on his mental state. The guy was on steroids and synthetics, and one day it played against him. Imagine you're working out in the gym, calmly warming up, running on the treadmill, when suddenly a man comes up to you, punches you in the face, and starts screaming and breaking and smashing equipment. That's exactly the kind of performance Chad put on in 2011. It took place in New York City, and security cameras caught the whole thing. According to eyewitnesses, Brothers fell off the treadmill and instantly went berserk, increasing the speed of the treadmill, on which another man was running at the time, then hitting him in the face. He then began breaking other fitness equipment. When police arrived, they weren't immediately able to calm the guy down. They had to disarm him with a stun gun. The shot turned out to be fatal. They tried to save the bodybuilder, but in vain. It was determined that Chad had taken steroids with a dangerous synthetic substance shortly before his death. It's believed that Brothers fell victim to what's known as roid rage, a state of extreme rage caused by the effects of steroids. Mohamed Benaziza. In his youth, Frenchman Mohamed Benaziza was fond of soccer, but then he decided to change the soccer pitch to the gym. This bore fruit. Mohamed began to train, pump up, and win in various tournaments. He, being the underdog, won the Night of the Champions event in 1990, and this victory gave him a resounding nickname, the Killer of Giants. In 1992, Mohamed placed 5th in Mr. Olympia and also won the Grand Prix Holland. A few hours after his victory, he was found breathless in his hotel room. As it turned out, trying to win and show the maximum of his muscles, the Frenchman overdosed on diuretics. In other words, he had completely dehydrated himself. Also, the Frenchman probably used anabolics, which affected the health of his heart muscle. Such a mixture of dangerous substances couldn't lead to any other result, and already at the age of 33, Mohamed became a victim of his favorite sport. Arlindo de Souza. While some bodybuilders pump up to the point of exhaustion, follow an incredibly strict regimen and take steroids, anabolics, and diuretics, others go the easier way. Arlindo de Souza went exactly this way and built an incredibly huge muscles. He did it the dangerous way, injecting a huge amount of mixture of alcohol and fat under his skin. The Brazilian clearly took it too far. His biceps are unnatural and unbelievably huge. Their circumference reached almost 74 centimeters, which is about 15 centimeters larger than the bicep circumference of the current Mr. Olympia champion. It's rather funny that despite such huge arms, Arlindo's body doesn't look like an athletic one. The pecs aren't worked out and there's no six-pack. The Brazilian has to limit himself to light and medium weights since he can't lift heavy weights because his arms are artificially inflated and don't give him much strength. De Souza's attitude to his health is surprising. He knows that the mixture in his muscles is life-threatening, but he takes it for granted. However, he admits that he took such risks deliberately. Another Brazilian has a similar story. Romario dos Santos Alves wanted to become like the Incredible Hulk, but he didn't want to train too much to build his muscles. Synthol turned out to be an option for him. For 3 years, Romario injected himself with the drug, transforming his arms and trapezius into something eerie and visually powerful. After a long course, the Brazilian's biceps reached 65 centimeters in circumference. It would seem that the goal is accomplished. Now the guy looks like a muscular superhero. But you have to pay for everything, and especially for the love of synthol. Over time, Romario's arms began to go numb, and the Brazilian himself began to experience constant pain. Romario took it so far that doctors threatened him with the amputation of both hands if he didn't stop. Fortunately, the story had a good ending. Surgeons pumped all the synthol out of the Brazilian's muscles and saved him. As Romario says, synthol is terribly addictive. According to him, if you inject once and see the result, there will be a second time. And if you inject again, you won't stop. In general, it's definitely better to stay away from synthol. That's all, guys. Do you love bodybuilding? Would you like to be very big and strong? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.